There are hundreds of different credit cards out there, and many different credit card issuers like Chase, American Express, Capital One, Citi, and a lot of times it can be pretty confusing and difficult to actually figure out what the best credit card options are. But don't worry, because I made it easy for you, because in this video, I'm going to discuss the top 8 best credit cards for 2023, in which I'll discuss all the relevant details for each credit card, and then I'll also discuss the #1 core reason that each credit card made my list. Also, no matter where you're at in your credit card journey, there will be a card on this list that is going to be appealing for you, because this list contains a wide range of different annual fees and some of the best credit cards for cashback and some of the best credit cards for travel. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some of the no annual fee credit cards that made my list, and then I'll gradually go up in terms of the annual fees on the credit cards that I'm going to be discussing. So the first credit card that is going to make my list for the best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the Chase Freedom Flex. The Chase Freedom Flex does not have an annual fee, but despite that, the Freedom Flex offers a super solid welcome bonus of being able to receive $200 cash back and 5% back on grocery stores during your first year if you were able to spend $500 or more in the first 3 months. Now that $200 cash back is actually going to be given to you in the form of 20,000 Chase points, what is important to note because it increases your upside. Basically, you could redeem those 20,000 Chase points for cash back, get 1 cent per point in redemption value, and then get a total value of $200. Or you could combine those 20,000 Chase points with a card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then transfer those points out to Chase's travel partners, get 2 cents per point in redemption value, and then get a total value of $400. But then that's not all you get with this welcome bonus, as you'll also get 5% back on grocery stores during your first year, which is a lot of people's highest spend category, so that by itself can be really valuable. And that multiplier for grocery stores can actually be increased beyond 5%, and that's because of a strategy that I'm going to discuss in a second. But first, the point multipliers on the Chase Freedom Flex are going to be 5x back on rotating quarterly categories, 5x back on travel booked through the Chase portal, 3x back on dining, 3x back on drugstores, and then 1x back on everything else. The rotating quarterly categories for Q1 2023 are going to be for grocery stores, Target, and gym memberships. So if you were to apply for the Chase Freedom Flex right now, well, right now would actually be the perfect time to do so, because you could actually stack the 5% back as part of the welcome bonus with the 5% back on groceries for the rotating quarterly category to get 9% back on groceries during Q1 of 2023. Ultimately, the #1 core reason that the Chase Freedom Flex made my list is going to be because of the 0 annual fee, the super strong welcome bonus, and then the rotating quarterly categories. The next credit card that is going to make my list for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the Citi Custom Cash. Just like the Chase Freedom Flex, the Citi Custom Cash does not have an annual fee, and then that card is currently offering a welcome bonus of being able to receive $200 cash back if you're able to spend $1,500 or more in the first 6 months. And then just like with the Chase Freedom Flex, that $200 cash back with the Citi Custom Cash is actually going to be given to you in the form of 20,000 Citi thank you points. So the same idea applies. You could redeem those points for cash back and get 1 cent per point, giving you a total value of $200, or you could combine those Citi thank you points with a card like the Citi Premier by transferring them out to Citi's travel partners, and then get $400 in total value. In terms of the point multipliers on the Citi Custom Cash are going to be pretty straightforward, as you'll get 5x back on your top eligible spend category, and then 1x back on everything else. If we break down that 5x multiplier a bit further, that is essentially going to mean that you're going to get 5% back on your top eligible spend category on up to $500 in spending every billing cycle, and those categories can include common spending categories like restaurants, gas stations, or grocery stores, or even less common categories like fitness clubs and live entertainment. So ultimately, the Citi Custom Cash basically puts you in the driver's seat to use the Citi Custom Cash as your dedicated card for whatever spending category of your choice, and that is ultimately going to be the core reason that I included the Citi Custom Cash on my list for the best credit cards in 2023. The next credit card that is going to make my list for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the Chase Freedom Unlimited. The Chase Freedom Unlimited can pair really well with the Chase Freedom Flex, which I discussed earlier, and the Freedom Unlimited can work really well as a catch-all credit card. And just like the Chase Freedom Flex, the Chase Freedom Unlimited is another no annual fee Chase credit card, and it actually has the same exact welcome bonus of being able to receive $200 cash back and 5% back on grocery stores if you're able to spend $500 or more in the first 3 months of having the card. So the same rule applies. You can redeem those points for cash back and get $200 in value, or you can combine those points with a card like the Sapphire Preferred and transfer them out to Chase's travel partners and then get $400 in value. The point multipliers on the Chase Freedom Unlimited are going to be 5x back on travel booked through the Chase portal, 3x back on dining, 3x back on drugstores, and then 1.5x back on everything else. So the Freedom Unlimited is going to pair really well with the Freedom Flex because you can use the Freedom Flex as your dedicated card for rotating quarterly categories, and then you can use your Freedom Unlimited as your catch-all credit card to get 1.5x back on everything, which is actually going to be 3x back on everything when you transfer out your Chase points to Chase's travel partners. Ultimately, the number one core reason that the Chase Freedom Unlimited made my list for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the ability to use this card as a catch-all credit card. Okay, the next card on my list is going to be the first of 2 co-branded credit cards that made my list, and that first card is going to be the Chase Amazon Prime card. The Chase Amazon Prime card does not have an annual fee, but there is a catch because in order to get this card, you do have to have an Amazon Prime membership, which is going to cost you $140 per year. So if you already have an Amazon Prime membership, then you can basically treat this card as a no annual fee credit card. But if it doesn't make sense for you to get a Prime membership, then it probably doesn't make sense for you to get this credit card. Once you get approved for the Chase Amazon Prime card, you'll automatically get a $100 Amazon gift card, which is super nice because there's no spend requirement to get that. The point multipliers on this card are going to be 5x back on Amazon and Whole Foods purchases, 2x back on restaurants and gas stations, and then 1x back on everything else. But ultimately, the number one core reason that the Amazon Prime card made my list for the best credit cards in 2023 is going to be for its simplicity and easy ability to use it as your dedicated Amazon credit card. The next credit card on my list for the best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is technically the first annual fee credit card on my list, as that card has an annual fee of $95. And then the welcome bonus on the Sapphire Preferred is going to be to receive 60,000 bonus points when you were able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 3 months. The Sapphire Preferred is going to give you a $50 hotel credit every single year, which means that if you're able to use that credit, you can lower your effective fee down from $95 to just $45 every year. The point multipliers on the Sapphire Preferred are going to be 5x back on travel booked through the Chase portal, 3x back on dining, 3x back on online grocery store purchases, 3x back on select streaming services, 2x back on all other travel, and then 1x back on everything else. But the real value on the Sapphire Preferred is going to be the higher redemption value capabilities. So you'll get 25% more value for any travel that you book through the Chase portal, and then you'll get 100% more value if you transfer out your Chase points to Chase's travel partners, which is why I've been discussing throughout this video that having the Sapphire Preferred really maximizes the value that you get from the Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited. Think of it like this. It's like tacos that are already pretty good, but then when you add in a super good salsa, that just maximizes how good those tacos are. The Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Unlimited are already pretty solid standalone credit cards, but then when you add in the Chase Sapphire Preferred, that really maximizes the entire value that you get with all the credit cards in the Chase trifecta. So the core number one reason that the Sapphire Preferred made my list for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023 is going to be for the higher redemption value capabilities. Okay, so the next card that made my list for the best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the American Express Gold card, otherwise known as the Foodie card. The AMEX Gold card has an annual fee of $250, and then the public welcome bonus offer for this card is going to be to receive 60,000 American Express points if you're able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 6 months. The point multipliers on the American Express Gold card are going to be 4x back on dining, 4x back on grocery stores, 3x back on flights, and then 1x back on everything else. So you can already get a sense for why this is called the Foodie card, because some of the best point multipliers are going to be for food-specific spending categories. But even beyond those fantastic multipliers, the Amex Gold card is going to give you 2 $120 credits, which are going to take the form of a $120 Uber credit and then a $120 dining credit, and that Uber credit can be used for Uber Eats. So this reinforces the narrative of the American Express Gold card being considered the Foodie card. And I've personally found those credits to be really valuable. And if you're able to get the maximum value from those credits, then you can lower your effective fee on the American Express Gold Card down from $250 to just $10. So the core reason that the American Express Gold Card made my list for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023 is because that card has a really solid mix of both having fantastic multipliers, but then also having some credits that can offset your annual fee every single year. Next up on my list for the best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the Capital One Venture X. The Capital One Venture X is considered a luxury travel card, but that card has a much lower annual fee of only $395 in comparison to some other luxury travel cards like the AMEX Platinum, which has an annual fee of $695, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which has an annual fee of $550. The Capital One Venture X has a welcome bonus of being able to receive 75,000 Capital One miles if you're able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 3 months, which can be worth $750 at the very minimum if you redeem those points for cash back, or around $1,500 if you transfer out those points to Capital One's travel partners to maximize your redemption value upside. The point multipliers on the Venture X are also super solid, as you'll get 10x back on car rentals booked through the Capital One travel portal, 5x back on flights booked through the Capital One travel portal, and then 2x back on everything, which can make the Venture X a solid option as a catch-all credit card. But the best part about the Capital One Venture X is going to be the travel credits on this card, as you'll get a $300 annual travel credit and 10,000 bonus miles every single year, which is equivalent to about $100 in value. So if you add up those credits, you'll get $400 in value from those credits every year, which is going to be more than the $395 fee. So you can basically get more value than the fee on this card every single year, making the card worth it if you simply utilize the credits. And on top of all of that, you'll get a $100 global entry or TSA pre-check credit, access to Capital One lounges, no foreign transaction fees, cell phone protection, and benefits like that. But the core reason that the Capital One Venture X made my list for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the ability to use this card as a keeper card if you're simply able to use the credits every single year. Finally, the last credit card that made the cut for the best credit cards in 2023 is going to be the Hilton Aspire card. The Hilton Aspire card is an American Express co-branded credit card that is a powerhouse when it comes to all the credits and benefits that you get all within one hotel credit card. The Aspire card has an annual fee of $450, but then the welcome bonus on that card is going to be to receive 150,000 Hilton Honors points if you're able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 3 months. Hilton Honors points are typically worth a little bit less, at 0.5 to 0.7 cents per point, so that welcome bonus could give you a value of about $750. The point multipliers on the Hilton Aspire card are going to be for 14x on Hilton properties, 7x for flights, car rentals, and restaurants, and then 3x back on everything else. But again, you do need to take into account the lower point value that Hilton points have. But what really maximizes the value on the Hilton Aspire card is going to be all the benefits, statuses, and perks that you get with the card. So first of all, you'll get 2 $250 credits, which are going to be a Hilton Resort credit and an airline fee credit. And then you'll also get a $100 property credit if you're able to stay a certain amount of nights at specific Hilton properties. Then you'll automatically get a free night certificate, which is super valuable with Hilton because they are completely uncapped. And you'll get automatic Hilton Diamond status, which really elevates your stays at Hilton properties. And for a lot of people, single-handedly makes this card worth it. I did make a full review video on this card, so if you want to watch that video, then go check out the video that I'll link up above. But in that video, I found that you could easily get over $1,500 in value from all of the benefits, which would be 3 times the fee that you pay on this card every year. So the core reason that I included the Hilton Aspire card on my list is simply because of how valuable all of the many benefits are. So those are my picks for the top 8 best credit cards in 2023. But let me know down in the comments if you agree with my picks or if you think some other cards should have been included. And for one of my favorite credit cards that I did include in this list, the American Express Gold Card, I did make a huge mistake when I was applying for that credit card. So if you want to see me break down exactly what mistake I made, then go check out this video next. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.